Hey everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yes.
Today, we're going to be talking about Python,
Okay.
specifically the argparse module.
Sounds good.
So you've probably used this before to handle, those extra bits of information that users can type in on the command line to make your scripts really flexible.
Right.
But as we're going to find out, even this trusty tool can have some quirks
It's true.
that can trip you up.
Yeah, even seasoned developers sometimes run into these limitations that we don't expect.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to be diving into today.
That's right.
We have a blog post from, it's kianmeng.org,
Okay.
and it's by an old software plumber.
All right.
And it really got me thinking because he was building a Python script to make ebooks,
Interesting.
and he wanted to be able to specify the file name.
Yeah.
And he also wanted to include a flag, an overwrite flag, to control whether or not it would overwrite a file if it already existed.
Makes sense.
But he ran into a limitation with argparse.Action.
Yes, that's right.
And argparse.Action lets you kind of do things like validate the input and all that stuff.
Exactly. You can add some logic
to
what happens when that argument is processed.
But the problem is an argparse.Action can't easily peek at the other arguments that are there.
Right. It doesn't have access to the full context of the command line at the time that it's running.
So even though the user might type overwrite on the command line, the script can't actually use that information when it's processing the file name argument.
Exactly.
So that sounds like it could lead to some serious bugs.
It definitely could.
You could end up overwriting a file when the user didn't intend to.
Yeah, it could definitely cause some unintended consequences.
So to understand this better, I think we need to take a look at how argparse works under the hood.
That's a great idea.
So help me unpack this.
Sure.
What's going on here?
Well, the key here is that argparse parses these arguments sequentially. Okay. One by one.
So it's not looking at the whole thing.
Right. It doesn't have the full picture.
Got it.
All at once. So when it gets to the file name argument, it doesn't know yet whether overwrite is also present.
So essentially, there's a communication breakdown within your code.
That's a great way to put it.
So what do you do?
Well, luckily, the blog author came up with not one, not two, but three.
3 solutions.
3 potential solutions.
Let's hear them.
All right.
I'm intrigued.
So the first one is a bit of a workaround. It involves going back to basics and checking for that overwrite flag directly in sys.argv, which is that raw list of arguments that gets passed to your script before argparse even gets involved.
So it's like you're peeking at the command line before argparse has had a chance to organize everything.
Exactly. That's a good way to think about it.
Clever, but that seems a little hacky, doesn't it?
It can be, yeah.
Seems like it would be harder to maintain in the long run.
Yeah, you're right. It can get messy, especially if you have, a lot of arguments or you have complex dependencies between them.
Right.
But for simple cases, it can be a quick and dirty solution.
Okay. So what about solution number 2?
So the second approach is more robust, but it might feel a little less elegant to some programmers. It involves validating those arguments after argparse has finished its parsing process.
Interesting. So you just let argparse do its thing, and then you double-check everything afterwards.
Exactly. You'd have access to all of the arguments in that namespace object.
Right.
So you could easily check if overwrite is present. And handle that file name accordingly.
That makes sense. It's a bit more code,
but
it gives you more control and flexibility.
Yeah. I think it's a trade-off.
So what's the third option?
So the third option is the most drastic. But sometimes the most practical. It's simply removing the overwrite feature altogether.
Whoa, really? Just get rid of it?
Yeah.
Completely? That seems extreme.
It might seem that way, but sometimes the simplest solution is the best. And if the feature is causing more trouble than it's worth, maybe it's better to just rethink it entirely.
Yeah. That's a good point. You have to weigh the benefits of the feature against the complexity it adds to your code.
Exactly.
Sometimes less is more.
Right.
So which one of these solutions do you like?
I think for me, it really depends on the specific project.
Yeah.
And its requirements. If it's a small script with just a few simple arguments, checking sys.argv might be the quickest and easiest route.
Right.
But, for larger projects where you have these complex interdependencies between arguments, validating after parsing or even reconsidering the feature altogether might be the better choice.
So it's all about finding the right balance between code elegance and practicality.
Exactly.
What I think is so fascinating about this is This seems like a simple problem with argparse, but it really reveals a deeper truth about coding in general.
Absolutely.
Which is,
this issue highlights the importance of managing state and information flow within your program.
I like that.
Making sure that different parts of your code can talk to each other effectively.
Yeah, it's like you got to make sure that all the gears are meshing together smoothly.
Exactly.
And that's a challenge that every programmer faces, no matter what language they're using.
Yeah, regardless of the tools or the languages.
Right. And our listeners have probably encountered situations like this in their own code where, the order of operations or the flow of information caused some kind of weird, unexpected issue.
Yeah, it's a common problem.
So what do you do when you run into these kinds of challenges?
Well, one strategy is to, carefully plan the structure of your code.
Okay.
Think about how data is going to be passed between different functions and modules.
Yeah.
Make sure you have really clear mechanisms for handling those dependencies.
So planning ahead can really save you.
It can.
A lot of headaches later on.
Absolutely.
What else?
Another approach is to use intermediate variables or data structures to store and pass information. This can help you avoid those situations where one part of your code needs information that's not available yet.
Right, so you're creating kind of like these temporary holding places for the data that your program needs to operate correctly.
That's a good way to think about it.
And sometimes the best solution might be to go back and revisit the design of your program altogether.
Yeah.
Like, is there a way I can restructure things so that I can avoid these dependencies in the first place?
That's a great point.
Yeah, instead of trying to force a square peg into a round hole.
Right. Sometimes you need to step back and rethink your approach.
Yeah, it's like taking a step back and looking at that bigger picture.
Exactly.
Instead of getting lost in the weeds of individual lines of code.
Right. And that can lead to more elegant and maintainable solutions.
Yeah.
In the long run.
This has been so insightful.
It has.
It really shows that, even for seasoned developers, there's always something new to learn.
Always.
And there's always ways that we can improve.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners who want to dive deeper into this, where would you recommend they start?
Well, I think the blog post that we've been discussing is a great place to start.
Yeah.
It provides really clear explanations and code examples. And it's written in a way that's accessible to developers of all levels.
Right. I'd also recommend the official Python documentation for argparse.
Absolutely.
It's a comprehensive resource that covers everything.
It is.
And, of course, the best way to learn is by doing.
Always.
So, get out there, experiment with argparse in your own projects.
Yeah, try out those different solutions that we talked about.
Yep, see what works best for you.
And see what you learn along the way.
Yeah, get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid to break things.
Exactly.
That's how you learn and grow.
That's how you learn.
Well, this has been another fascinating deep dive.
It has.
I always learn so much from these conversations.
Me too.
So to all of our listeners out there, keep coding.
Keep coding.
Keep learning and keep diving deep.
And keep listening.
Until next time.
Happy coding, everyone.